Hello, everyone. Welcome to this spooky edition of Steven. I'm Steve.
And I'm Steven. This is our Halloween hoedown, baby.
And I don't know about you, but this is definitely one of my biggest fears.
Sorry to bother you. I'm Fernando. I work at Peak Energy. We're a few doors down. We're in 1845.
Okay.
So we do solar around here. We're just coming around talking to sorry, dude. Neighbors. I apologize, man. No, man. That wasn't even...
Yeah, he does the walk of shame away. That's definitely my biggest fear, is just like going up to someone, talking to them, and then it just slips out like that in a totally innocuous way.
That is spooky.
Yeah, I would hate for that to happen.
Not to say spook in regards to the black man, but I just mean that's a spooky.
Scary. Well, we've got some regular news, we've got some Halloween-related news, and we've got some other stuff you're just going to have to stay tuned for. Scariest thing in the news today are the comments that Kanye West has been making. Just kidding. I really don't have a whole lot to say about him. I don't know if you followed. I tried watching the video that he was in this like 2.5 hour long podcast on Revolt, but they took the podcast down. I was watching a re-upload. In the middle of the re-upload, YouTube took it down. So
What was it from? Do you know? I'm going to look for it probably.
It was from Revolt. I don't know what Revolt is. I think it's like rappers, like a rapper YouTube channel. And they just sat down with Kanye, talked to him. That's where he got like really comfortable just saying the Jewish media. And he wants to have a conversation with them, which, you know, in the video he's doing this. He's holding the fake gun. No, I'm just kidding. But he just, I don't know. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Kanye is he never like puts anything in context. So when he comes out saying this stuff, maybe it is true. Maybe some of the things he's saying are true. But he's not giving any context. He's just coming at the Jews. So he's
true. That's true. I mean, Chase Bank did like bar him from using like their bank. And I mean, I think it's because he's mentally ill, obviously. So when you have someone mentally ill like him, he's just going to say stuff like that. So, yeah, we just think our official statement here is he is mentally ill. And I can say that because he was being anti-Semitic. So
I missed the
Kanye
old
West.
Kanye. Remember? Did you listen to Life of Popolo? I know you've listened to a little Kanye.
A little bit. I've listened to
the one where he freestyles and he's like, "I miss the old Kanye."
Yes, I do.
I hate the Jews, Kanye. The bad news, Kanye. Oh man.
So he's been doing all this stuff with Candace Owens, and she works for Daily Wire, and I've been trying to look to see what the other little wires, the little Weasley wires, if they've been responding, and they haven't responded at all.
Wait, what do you mean by Weasley wires?
I don't know. I was just trying to.
What were you trying to say by weasel? I
was trying to be anti-Semitic.
Look, we can do that on this podcast because I will sit here and I will take it as a card-carrying member of the Jewish people. Kanye, come at me. I don't care. I don't care what Kanye says. That's the problem with this whole thing is that people give a shit what artists say about stuff. It's like, just let him make music. That's the only thing he's been good at.
Yeah, and I'm also just kind of like sick and tired of people like so surprised by the idea of like celebrities who do not live in the same world that we live in. They live in a completely different world. They're surprised with the idea that they do and say things that are not normal and frowned upon, like what us poor people like normally, like our rules. You know what I mean?
Well, not us. We're not poor.
But not us. When we were poor, when we were both waiting for tables. Now we walk in, they've got the seat ready.
We only go places. All right, hold on. I don't have anything else on Kanye.
Okay, yeah, I don't either. So
I didn't even bring news. I'll be honest with you. I thought this was all Halloween all time.
Well, the news is Halloween is just around the corner.
It absolutely is.
So recently, Steven and I gave each other our favorite Halloween movies, and we watched them. And so we're going to just get right into that. Steven, what did you watch?
My movie?
Yes.
My favorite movie is Return of the Living Dead.
Which is what I watched. That was kind of a weird way I phrased it.
Well, I didn't rewatch it. That's the problem. So I actually almost need you to refresh my memory.
When did you first watch it? Why did you pick this movie?
I picked it when I was like when I was like 10 years old, me and my friend, it was like during the summer, and we stayed up, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and this movie like just comes on. We're like, okay, cool, something scary. And then we watched it, and it was like very funny, like from the get go. But the funniest part was when the guy runs in the room naked. You know, the guy,
like from the freezer.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
No, that's not like right away. This is after he's explained everything. It's pretty early. Yeah,
it is early on.
He's explaining all the stuff in the warehouse.
So was it like censored for TV, or was it like on HBO?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Can you see his penis?
No, there's a girl who like gets naked though.
I don't
full
remember.
on naked.
I feel like there was, but I just remember thinking his butt cheeks were funny. And then obviously it's funny how they try to kill him because they just go at him with the pickaxe, or they stab him in the head with the pickaxe and then just saws his head off.
Yeah.
And then that's when you learn that you can't even fucking kill these, like cut these things up.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go for their brain like in other zombie movies. So that made a whole other intricate detail. And I don't know, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it. And I also liked how they mentioned Night of the Living Dead, because then it's like, oh, okay, so we're not operating in movie land. We're operating in real life, because these characters in this movie, they already know what Night of the Living Dead is, and they know it as a movie. So what not like the new guy, you know, the supervisor is explaining to him, like, you know, the movie Night of the Living Dead. Well, that's not the actual story that happened. The director was told by like the US government, if his movie like in any way accurately resembled like this real incident that occurred, that he would like be sued until he was like poor. And which Kanye West would say, who's doing the suing?
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so I guess like the real incident was there was like a chemical spillage in a hospital, and like the chemicals like got down to the morgue, and then the bodies like came back to life. So what the government did is that they came in and put these bodies in these barrels with this like special gas to keep them sedated, because they knew that they couldn't kill them. And so they had to ship them back to like the Pentagon or Area 51, but they messed up. The guy says, like, in classic U.S. government fashion, they shipped it to us, because the movie takes place in a, what is it called?
What do you mean? It's like a warehouse or something?
It's called like UNITA medical facility.
Right.
It's like a warehouse where they have like all those medical supplies and like dead bodies, like
and
skeletons,
dogs.
And like the dogs that are cut in half for like veterinary schools and stuff like that. So they have him in the basement, and when he's trying to show the new guy, a barrel accidentally opens up, brings all those zombies to life. And I think they try to burn one, and they like try to throw the ashes somewhere, but then it like rains, and then those ashes like spread throughout a nearby cemetery. So then like all of those zombies come out, and I mean, it just gets like worse and worse for them. Like they just can't catch a break. And I liked also, it was different because like the zombies actually talked. And there wasn't a way to kill them. There wasn't like a simple rule to follow, which I
like the part too of it where they do reference like another movie, and they keep going, that's how they do it in the movies.
Yes.
You know, the sort of meta thing of it is like pretty funny, and it sort of absolves it of any bad parts. But I don't know, like all 80s horror movies were bad in their own way. Like other movies use like a lot of stop motion, like stop motion kind of stuff. And so the fact that it's sort of a parody, and I think a lot of 80s horror movies sort of started to go that direction. Yeah. Because the visuals of it wasn't there yet with like the technology, the CGI and stuff. Yeah, I think the 80s they leaned into that shitty aspect of it. The reason that like 80s horror is so iconic, I think, is because they had kind of like mastered like synth music to go along, because the movie also had a really good soundtrack. And I've noticed, like, I've watched a bunch of like older horror movies this month, and I've just noticed that they all have like really good soundtracks. So they like mastered like synth music, and they had also mastered like the campy special effects. And I think there's something to like, whether you're like the makeup artist or the actor, so whether you're the person who has to sit there for 8 hours and apply these prosthetics to this person, or the person sitting there having this happen to you, at a certain point in time, you both kind of realize like just how goofy this whole thing is. And I feel like that energy that they both think about is like it shows in the movie. Like, I don't know. And there's something about it that makes it much more enjoyable to watch, because they can, on one end, it's like, here's this creepy looking monster. And on the other end, I didn't silence my fucking phone. On the other end, they always kind of make it somewhat comical, which I really like. And both movies, actually, I would say both movies did that. Yeah, the one thing I didn't get, because I did rewatch some parts of it, but it'd been a while. But the part when he says, the supervisor says all the skeletons come from India.
Oh, yeah. He was saying...
he was like, they have perfect teeth.
Oh, he was like, what did he tell the guy? He's like, so, like, obviously, like in India, there's like a human farm where they harvest like the humans with perfect teeth or something like that. Yeah, that guy was crazy. And it's funny how like crazy and like weird and in control he seems until like the barrel opens up and then he's like freaking out and like crying when the zombie, attacks. And when the big boss, the manager comes in, it's like, to him, it was like another day. Like, all right, I've kind of seen this before. I'm a little worried, but...
The supervisor is like a very funny character because, and again, this is like maybe with a lot of 80s and not just this, but the overacting is like very funny.
Yeah.
Oh, and also on the soundtrack, before I forget, Surfin' Dead by the Cramps, I think is like the opening song of that movie. Cramps is a very good punk band. And the whole punk vibe of that movie is very funny too. Like when the punk rock fucking people show up.
I think they're a real band. I think that's what I saw on Wikipedia.
Oh, I didn't know that at the time.
So cool movie. 2 thumbs up, I guess. I don't know.
What did I give?
I gave it a
corpses.
4. So
you gave it a 4 out of 5?
Yeah.
I'll take.
So then you watched my favorite Halloween horror movie, Evil Dead 2, and I rewatched it too. So what did you think of it?
I liked it a lot. I probably saw it when I was like 8. I was pretty young, so I like barely remembered it, but I enjoyed all of... You lay out the plot. See, this is what you're good at, and then I'll think of my little added things.
Well, here's a little bit of backstory. So due to an issue over the rights of Evil Dead 1 and 2...
Oh, wait. I was supposed to watch Evil Dead 2?
Yeah.
Oh, I watched Elvis Dead. I'm just fucking with you. But did you know that's a thing? There's a stage.
I did. I actually, because we went to another movie I watched, which I will talk about because it's just too interesting to not mention. We could only rent at the video store, and I did see Elvis Dead, and I said to my wife, like, oh, we should get this. And but we already had 4 movies, so we didn't get it. But I was like, wait a minute. So you know about that movie? Like, I didn't know about it until recently. So anyway, issue with the rights. They had to recap the first movie and the first few minutes of the second movie, which is actually really helpful. So the movie stars Bruce Campbell, who I watched like this documentary on the making of Evil Dead 2 and 3, and both Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi, who's the director, and he also directed the Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire. They had both talked about how Bruce Campbell's like the human like punching bag. So he just kind of wanted to see how many stunts they could throw in Bruce's way and see if he could like handle them all. And like at a certain point, it was just like mean. I guess some crew member was like, yeah, I can't remember which scene it was, but it was basically like where Bruce Campbell was getting hit with a branch, and then like Sam Raimi would just like come up and he's like, here, let me see it, and just like hit him like really hard, just like for fun. And I don't know, but they're like childhood friends too, so he's not just like a shitty human being. And Bruce Campbell's also in like every single Sam Raimi movie. If you remember in the Spider-Man trilogy, he's the like the ring announcer who calls Spider-Man the Human Spider, or he gives him the name the Amazing Spider-Man, because he's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "I'm the Human Spider." And he's like, "Kid, I'm not giving you that name. That's such a terrible name.
That's fucking gay, kid."
Yeah. And the second movie, he's the usher for Mary Jane's play, and then in the third one, he's the French waiter who's supposed to like slip the engagement ring. Yeah. But anyway. In Evil Dead 2, he's Ash Williams, and he's just being tormented by these demons because he played like an audio recording in this cabin that him and his girlfriend were staying in. They had no idea that there was this book that could spawn demons in the cabin, and they also had no idea that this tape recorder has the forbidden words that were spoken to summon all the demons. So it basically just involves him trying to survive because his girlfriend turns into a demon really early on, and it's just like a really creative movie with how they interpret like the evilness, because there's like the camera that just like rushes towards him, and it's like chasing him throughout the house, and then like that scene goes on like for a little too long and like comically like way too long. And like my favorite part is when all of the taxidermied like animals like on the wall like start laughing and like everything's like coming to life and stuff. And yeah, it's just a very creative movie, and there are a lot of really good special effects, and I feel like the cheese factor is like turned all the way up, and it just like makes it such a great, enjoyable movie. I don't know.
So what happened? Now I want to know what happens like in the next movie. Because there's a third one. How many movies are there?
So they
kept making them, but he's not in all of them. Bruce Campbell, right?
There's 3 movies, and then there was actually a TV show that was made not too long ago, like on, I think, Cinemax, and it ran for like 3 or 4 seasons, and it took place when he was much older, and he's in all of them. Let me think. So in the third one, that's Army of Darkness, and so that involves him trying to get back to the present. So he has to end up fighting like the demons from the medieval era. And so I think at one point in the second movie, it's, kind of implied that he was like also possessed, but he ends up like splitting himself into 2. So there's like the regular Ash, then like the evil Ash, and that the evil Ash ends up like mutating into this, like basically the final boss of the third movie. So yeah, he has to end up defeating that. And then he goes back to work at like Walmart or something, wherever he was working, like before the events of the movies even took place.
Then what happens after that?
That's when the show.
What about Freddy versus Jason versus Ash?
It hasn't been made yet.
No, it has. It's a DC comic. I think it's DC.
It is?
Yeah,
I haven't read any of the comics.
No, I was just trying to do research.
Oh, I see.
Basically, Freddy's trapped inside of... What's after Freddy versus Jason? It's after... What's the third one of Evil Dead?
Army of Darkness.
After Army of Darkness. And Freddy's in Jason's head, and Jason wants to get the Book of the Dead. Because
why? He never talks.
Well, no, his mom shows up.
Oh, yeah.
And is like, hey, this will turn you into a kid again. Or something like that. And then Freddy's in on it with Jason's mom because he wants to get out of Jason's head. So then I think Jason finds it. He gets out of his head. And then I think Ash kills them both at the end.
Nice. Yeah, I remember. Did you ever watch Freddy vs. Jason? Or any of the Nightmare on Elm Street or the Friday the 13th?
Well, I was going to ask you to rank Freddy Krueger, Jason, and Michael Myers.
You know what? I've tried to watch Halloween like a few times, like in middle school, and I just like could not watch it. It was just like way too boring. And I know that movie's based on the horror movie Black Christmas, which I watched like a year or 2 ago. That movie is really, really good. I basically like have no interest in revisiting the Halloween movies.
Well, I used to hate the Halloween movies, and I know now there's a new, we're not promoting. I haven't even seen it. I'm not.
I've been.
I'm not a spokesman.
They haven't
for the
reached
new
out
movie
to us
yet. The movie that's already finished. I used to hate that movie, but I became a way bigger fan of the franchise after I found out that Mike Myers actually plays Michael Myers.
I didn't know that. I thought, then why does he wear a mask?
I don't know.
No, I was trying to play along with you.
Okay, well, I didn't know how to keep going with it.
See, that's
I know where else to go with
when
it.
I was a kid, I was always confused by that because I would like go look and I'm like, what the Michael Myers? This isn't Austin Powers. I just didn't know.
I just didn't like his name for a villain. I thought it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Like Jason Voorhees. I mean, what's Voorhees? Is that like a fucking Dutch guy's name?
Who knows?
Voorhees?
It's not even like worth looking up. And the hockey mask, I don't know. I think
Freddy stands alone. He's
the
my
best.
top.
He truly is the best. He invades your dreams.
Yeah,
like,
you can't escape that.
Yeah.
Leave the fucking camp if you want to get away from Jason.
The only way, seriously, the only way to stand a chance against fighting Freddy is to go to sleep and grab him and wake up. Like you literally have to pull him into the real world. Like you can't be messing around. You can't be afraid of him. So survival of the fittest, I guess. Have you watched all the Freddy Krueger movies?
He's just a yeah, I haven't I don't know if they're still making them. I haven't seen any new ones. I've seen like the original like 2 or 3 or I've seen a lot of the
6. There's 6 of them.
Okay, I'm not even close then.
Yeah, the first 3 are pretty good. 4, 5, and 6 get a little goofy. The first Nightmare on Elm Street movie, gosh, all these horror movies, Freddy versus Jason, Friday the 13th, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. First one had Johnny Depp. That was Johnny Depp's first role in a movie, was Nightmare on Elm Street. They also made a movie called Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which was kind of a meta one where it was about Wes Craven making a new movie about like an even scarier Freddy, and it starred like the cast from the first movie. So then the main character who played Nancy, she was like, I'm seeing Freddy in real life. And so that was kind of cool. It was kind of, I think it was one of the first movies that kind of like F with that. So actually it wasn't.
What about Friday the 13th? You've seen a lot of those?
I actually haven't seen, I may have seen like the first or second one, but it's too long. Too much time has passed for me to remember. So
yeah, the best one's part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
I've actually seen some of that, but it was on TV. So
yeah, that one's hilarious because he goes to the Coney Island Fair and eats cotton candy.
Does he really? Does he like take his mask off?
No, but he does go to Cats the musical. No, also not true, but
Damn.
But it's supposed to show his growth after 8 movies. He's becoming a lovable guy.
Yeah, true. He's now like he's not a normal person, but he is fit to walk around in Manhattan. Person, like to be a bum in Manhattan.
None of these franchises.
But later he goes to space, so that shows you how much he grows.
I forgot about that.
So
I was like, what was that one called? Like
Jason X.
Okay, yeah, I saw that one.
So
what about Chucky? Child's Play. I'm just going through the bad guys now. This is the last one, and then you can.
I don't know if I've seen any of them, so I'll just say no because I don't remember.
No, well, they're pretty funny. I don't know. He's just because but. Somebody in my family, like a cousin or somebody, had like a doll that kind of looked like him when I was a kid, and it like freaked me out.
Did you ever watch Goosebumps? Like they had that Chucky episode, or was the dummy that would talk?
Yeah, that one's very funny.
That's pretty creepy. That always scared me. Or the kid. I actually like never, when I was a kid, like for Halloween, I never wore masks. I like hated covering my face. And so COVID, folks, you better believe I was arguing in the department stores. No, I'm just kidding. But that episode of Goosebumps with the kid who like put on that mask and it like they couldn't like take it off. Like that was like so scary to me. And there's the other one of the Haunted Tower of Terror or whatever. That might be the Disney ride, but there was something similar to that. It was a medieval tower, torture chamber. That one I was like, I would like to go there. I think I could make it as a 6-year-old. So
yeah, I'm trying to remember more episodes of that. I love the theme song, obviously, and I probably showed you before because this is the dog barking to the song, to the dun 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 dun.
So let me go through, since you went through like this Rolodex of horror figures, let me go through this quick Rolodex of horror movies that I've seen, because I know you are all wanting to know. So Hostel, that's my second favorite Halloween movie. American Psycho 2, which I already talked about. This movie called Bitter Moon. It's a Roman Polanski movie. The Purge.
Don't brag.
The Purge, An American Werewolf in London, Blowout, The Grudge, which I was always afraid of when I was a kid. I was so terrified of that. I had a sibling who would just say like, hey, Steve, come here. And they would just show me a picture of The Grudge and I'd just cry. And they would just do that all the time. Then I saw the other Purge movie, which wasn't good. As Above, So Below, not great. Return of the Living Dead, we've already talked about it. And finally, this one is very interesting. Have you heard of Cannibal Holocaust?
Oh, yeah, baby. I know. I used to know a lot. About it, but yeah.
Wait, seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. A long time ago. But yeah, I know about it. Somebody told me about it like in middle school. It was like the craziest thing ever.
Yeah. Okay. So my wife and I, we rented that at the video store and they had the full version, like the animal cruelty included. And we were a little confused because when we watched it, there's like a little icon of a skull that would pop up on screen for a few seconds. And so we were thinking like, you know, okay, maybe throughout the duration that this is up, because it would vary. Sometimes it'd be up for like 5 seconds and then other times it'd be up for like a minute. Like we thought that, you know, this is what was cut from the movie. So, you know, that would be up when we're just like seeing random shots of like the jungle and whatnot. And then you would just see like a rape scene and we're like, why was this removed? But this was okay. But I think it was like a warning, like what you're about to see is fucked up. The director of the movie was on trial for murder because they thought that he like actually murdered people. And
well, and all the actors, right? Wasn't that the thing? The actors like went into hiding for a year. So it seemed like they actually died or something like that. And
watching it, you know, I usually don't believe those stories of like when like what's the thing about the first movie in France? It was like a train that drove by the camera and it's like everyone in the theater thought they were going to die. But that's just not true because they're not retarded.
Yeah.
But that movie, I was like, you know, it's not far-fetched to suggest that they just like went somewhere and just like killed a bunch of like aboriginals and got away with it. I mean, who knows? But
they actually did kill animals, right?
They did,
The thing? Okay.
Yeah. And some of those scenes are pretty crazy, but definitely one of a kind movie. I don't know if I would watch it again, but I feel like it's like what's crazy too is that so that's the first found footage movie. And the thing I don't like about a lot of found footage movies is that they don't show like the action. Like I know I haven't actually seen Blair Witch Project, but you know, everyone's like, it's so scary because you don't actually see the witch. And like this other movie I was actually mentioning, As Above, So Below, takes place in the catacombs of France. Like the satanic like killings are like quick and, you know, you don't really see them happen. But like Cannibal Holocaust like shows you like literally everything. So I wonder if like people who make found footage movies like look at Cannibal Holocaust and they're like, okay, well, there's no need for us to try to like show like, you know, gruesome deaths on screen because like this movie already did it like perfectly. Or I wonder what the mentality is for them to like shy away from like showing the action or like making it quicker. But
yeah, I don't know how much of it's whatever has been decided, like now the way we release movies and stuff, like if they're even allowed to do.
Yeah. I mean, they can't like kill animals and stuff, but I guess that's also a different thing. And maybe the movie was scarier and more believable because of like the animal killings and stuff. I don't know.
It is one of a kind.
It is.
But I was going to say, have you seen any of like the bad horror movies? Like the like very shitty movies that were kind of made like toward the end of like the 2000s early and then in the early 2010s? Like, well, okay, the one I'm thinking of, Rubber, was very popular.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it.
Okay, that's the one where the tire has like psychokinetic powers and he like blows people up. He just rolls.
No, I haven't actually watched those. I haven't seen Sharknado either.
I don't know if that's the same category, but yeah, for sure it's the same category. It's for sure the same category. Mm-hmm. But it's so associated with Shark Week that I don't associate it with. Scary. Thanksgiving though. Thanksgiving's funny. Did you ever see that one? Okay, Thanksgiving is about like this anthropomorphic turkey, and I might be remembering a little of this wrong, but I think he kind of has like a black guy voice. Mm-hmm. And there's just a lot of funny parts. Like, okay, so it's obviously during Thanksgiving, and these kids are going back for Thanksgiving break from college, I think. And one of the kids comes home and the turkey showed up earlier in the day and has killed the father. He cuts the father's face off and puts it on his face, but it's just a little turkey standing in the door. So when the kid gets home, no, it's so funny because the kid gets home and believes it for a while. He's like, Dad, whoa, you look different. But it's just on his little turkey. His face is on it. And then there's one scene where he's like fucking somebody. Like he just like somebody walks in a room and he's fucking a girl, you know? And I think this is probably like a stuffing pun or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one's very funny. And then there's Thanksgiving 3, which is the plot of that one is Thanksgiving 2 has been destroyed. So they have to travel in time to get the last copy of Thanksgiving 2 or get a copy of Thanksgiving 2. So that's the time travel. And these are like poorly made movies. These are like not even bad, like campy bad, but a little bit, but they're bad. But funny.
Yeah, actually I haven't watched a lot of those or B movies. B movie.
Yeah, the B movie trilogy. B movie is my favorite horror movie. Actually, I thought you said yours was Hocus Pocus.
I never said that.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get me to?
No, but that movie's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I never really liked that.
No, there's just that culture around it. So I was kind of making fun of that.
The nostalgia. It's the same people who cried when Steve told them that he was their friend this whole time. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I had something else to say about that realm of people, but I'm sure it's going to come up. You know, these people, they've been prominent throughout civilization, so there will probably be more examples where we get to talk about them.
I'm trying to think, were there any TV shows that had good Halloween episodes? Because every show tries to do that.
Well, there's the Simpsons.
Trying to do that.
There's the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah.
Those are classic. I feel like that 70s show had some funny episodes.
That's what I wrote down.
I don't quite remember. I just remember Fez being Batman. And I don't know if I can recall of any other.
I mean, I don't know. There's like, I don't want to be cringy or anything, but
no,
The Office has some good Halloween. Like the first one when he has to fire the guy, when Michael has to fire somebody by the end of the day. That one's funny.
Yeah.
That one's pretty funny.
That's on Halloween?
Yeah, because he has the two heads or whatever, his fake head.
Oh, yeah. Who does he fire? I don't remember. It's been so long since I've watched that show.
I don't either, but it's just a guy that's there for like, because that was like in the second season. So it's like somebody who's on for like 3 episodes.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, my favorite thing to watch there during Halloween when I was a kid, when I was like 12, probably, I would stay up like Or I mean, it'd probably started like 7 or 8 o'clock, like on the Travel Channel and History Channel. Like all the shows would be like, these are the most haunted houses in America.
Oh yes, those were always
all the
fun.
ones with either like real ones or just like ones that people will put together to look spooky. And anything on History Channel that was like, okay, the one I watch every year is The Real Story of Halloween. Okay, just look it up on YouTube. Real Story.
I may have
of
actually
Halloween.
watched that because I think I had to do
every single year I send you the first 2 minutes of that because it's funny.
All right.
The Real Story of Halloween. It's so funny. Just watch the first 3 minutes of it and you'll be like, yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
do it right now
I'm
on the
watching
podcast. If it's so funny, it will get through this microphone.
No, it won't be. Part of it's the visual part of it.
Oh,
okay?
Can I describe it?
If you want it in there that bad, just put it in there. Put it in the episode.
Was it on the History Channel?
Yes.
I've watched it. I've watched this before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I talk about it all the time, so it doesn't surprise me that you know about it. No, the reason it's so funny. It's so funny. I don't know how to
just like the History Channel, like reenact. Oh yeah. I mean, okay, from the beginning, from the get-go, we've got this like super cheesy. Oh my gosh, super cheesy. Full moon, jack-o'-lantern.
Like the fucking cuts and stuff are so over the top on stuff like that. I don't even know who came up with that, but that's like a whole style.
Yeah, I mean, like early 2000s TV is like made from this. Oh. Yeah, Black Cat. Boom. What?
I mean, what a line.
What a claim. People have been scaring each other for as long as there's been Halloween.
I mean, it's just every line is funny.
That's great. Classic. The story of witches. Wow, can you believe that people killed women who slept with other people? They were just mean.
Another good Halloween one was Ghost Adventures. I don't know. Like, I know I talk about Ghost Adventures a lot, or I have at times. I don't really know if you like it or not, but I
liked those shows. I never liked Ghost Hunters. I thought that was gay. Didn't it have Adam Savage? Isn't that the guy?
Might have. I don't know. I didn't ever watch Ghost Hunters. I just Ghost Adventures because they would have marathons of that during like Halloween time. And it was so funny because my friends and I would just watch like marathons of that show. And it's so ridiculous and over the top. And it's like now Ghost Adventures, I've watched some of the more recent episodes and it's just so over the top. And Zach Bagans or whatever his name is. We made a parody movie when I was in high school.
That was, have you seen Grave Encounters? That's what that movie's, it's supposed to be like a parody of those shows. And then it's it's actually haunted and shit like that. It's good. Grave Encounters.
Mm-hmm. That show was very funny. And now he just turned into like a hipster guy. And he's probably like, okay, let's say even if this crew of people believed in ghosts when they started, after like 8 seasons, if there's nothing happening, then there's no way.
Right.
I love Ghost Adventures. That's a very funny show.
Adventures.
Okay, here we go. Here's a list of supernatural beings. This is right. We're going to do this as a bracket.
Power through. What do we got?
Well, what? You're in such a hurry?
No, I'm just...
You've been talking about every movie under the sun.
How many things do we have? How many... Just get to the list. Let's go.
I'm like ready. The fact that you're rushing me right now.
No, I'm not. We're not rushing. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go.
All right. No, let's just forget it. I just wanted to know where you stood on mythical monsters. Or maybe they're not so mythical.
No, I'm ready. I was excited.
Okay. Well, no, I just have a list here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and I just want to know which one's the best. Vampires, mummies, witches, zombies, ghosts, werewolves, demons, chupacabra, George Floyd.
Chupacabra?
I don't know. I just needed an 8th one in there.
Like best one, like who could win or who?
No. What would you want? What would you be?
Number of statues in America. What
would you be?
I would be.
I'd be a vampire for sure. I just want to be Dracula. I basically am anyway.
Yeah. Dracula's pretty cool. Maybe I want to be a werewolf though. Werewolves are also kind of cool.
I mean, zombies, mummies, retarded. Obviously.
Yeah. Why would you do that?
Werewolf would be pretty cool.
Yeah. In Skyrim, you can be like a werewolf or I think a vampire. And I chose werewolf every time because you could run faster and I don't know, demon.
Well,
I know. I know it's on the list, but it's like imagine picking demon.
No, but if you're a demon, dude, Satan's a demon.
Yeah, that's not good though.
Well, none of these are good.
That's true.
You're going to be killing people no matter what. Satan, at least, demons are kind of separate. I don't know. Okay, fuck this conversation. Move on. You didn't want to do this anyway.
No, I did. I was just ready. I was pumped.
Oh yeah, you sounded like it. Okay, go.
I don't have anything. I think it
sounded like you're ready to move on to something else you have prepped, so I'm just going to let you do it.
I don't have anything else prepped.
Wow. So you came unprepared.
Did you want to?
What was the best Halloween candy to get? As you got it on Halloween. Because the thing, okay, and I'll just say this up front. I love Twix, but you only get one in the fun size. Fuck that. One Twix, that doesn't even feel right when you open up a Twix and there's one tiny little bar in there. I
always liked the suckers that were apple flavored and they had caramel.
Oh, I forgot
those
about
are my favorite.
Whatever happened to those?
I don't know.
They've got to exist, but still, I just haven't thought about those since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite?
Snickers.
Okay. Snickers are good.
Snickers are all right as like a bite-sized, like for the candy, but it doesn't matter. In this scenario, you just went trick-or-treating, and I guess you have like an entire
arsenal. Yeah.
So you don't want to blow through the Snickers too fast. You don't want to blow through the Twix. Hershey's, I'm iffy on.
Yeah, I don't really care for Hershey's. I don't know. They're all right.
Did you ever eat Hershey's cookies and cream? This is so ridiculous. Did you ever eat Hershey's cookies and cream? Okay, because
Dalmatian, I would call it Dalmatian.
I thought that was introduced in our lifetime. Like I remember growing up and never seeing that, and then all of a sudden it was in every store. And then I was doing like some research here on the cookies and cream because I remember an explosion of cookies and cream things. Like everything had to be Oreo. Yeah. So I was like, oh, this is a new product. It came out in 94.
Wow.
But maybe it's because it's a luxury item. It's top shelf. I had to grow up before I could see it.
True. Yeah.
That's all.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Milky Way sucks, but I don't want.
I actually like, Milk Duds. Milky Ways do suck.
Yeah. Milk Duds are fine, but they're just shit on your teeth. Like they're just terrible. Like
you just have to let them touch your teeth.
And Three Musketeers is the worst. Great packaging.
That is like literally the worst candy of all time. Yeah, I agree. That's like the marshmallow inside.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's awful.
Great packaging and great like name, but it fucking sucks. Oh, well, those are my main candies. I don't know. I mean,
what about costume? What was your favorite costume?
I didn't have anything ever too cool. I was Batman one year and then I was Robin the next. So I thought that was.
I did something like that too.
In hindsight, I always thought that was funny.
That is funny, yeah.
And then the next year I was like a trans rocker woman.
Well, what did you say when people asked what you were? Just a rock star?
I'm a woman rocker.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Like Joan Jett?
Yeah, I had heels on. I looked a little goth. I had black, what do they call those things?
Oh, the
leggings, or not leggings, but what do they call?
Fishnet?
Kind of ish. I don't know if they were straight up cut in the middle. Okay, but
pantyhose.
Yes, pantyhose on. I had some pantyhose on, and I maybe even had a skirt. I don't remember, but I thought it was very funny. And then the next year, every guy in my class like dressed as a woman. Like so, I started a trend.
Nice.
But the thing is,
that trend has gone so far
too far. But even back then, I knew like because of my personal idol and hero Bugs Bunny, who cross dresses. Even back then I knew it was funny as a joke.
Yeah.
And actually it was one of my friends' sister's costume the year before. So I wore it the next year and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a woman.
Damn.
I was a werewolf one year and I don't remember a lot of other ones. I was a wizard one time. Not Harry Potter though, but I was a wizard.
I'd be Harry Potter.
The trans thing is my best by far, but what was yours?
So Harry Potter, and one year I went as Darth Vader, and I actually I didn't really like Darth Vader, but I knew okay, I get to wear my mom's.
I was Darth Vader one year too.
I was I get to wear my mom's black leather gloves, which would look really official with the Darth Vader costume. So I was thinking of logistics, what would look the best? I can wear my jacket and stuff under the clothes, and people wouldn't notice. And so that was probably my best one. And then one year I went as, have you ever played Dead Rising?
No.
Oh, geez. I went as Zombie. Just kidding. Fuck. I don't remember what the name of them were called. I made my own mask. ServBot. It's called the ServBot. So this thing, I made one of these little masks. So they're like little robots from Mega Man Legends. And so they just made that into a mask that you can pick up and wear in the game. So I made one of those and I just wore it and no one knew who I was. They all thought I was a Lego, but this one guy was like, is that from Dead Rising? And I was like, yes, you're the only person who has gotten that right. So.
And you were friends every day after that.
Yeah, I actually did know him. He was only a few years older than me and ran cross country with me in high school. So I ended up knowing him. So.
My grandparents always had cool decorations for Halloween.
No.
Well, okay, so the best one though, like they had a lot of old like vintage feel to it. So that's how I remember Halloween. It's like I experienced Halloween when it was still Halloween and not like commercialized bullshit. Like when you go into the store and everybody has the fucking bullshit. Okay. She had this witch that was on a broomstick and it was hanging from the ceiling and like it hung from like a light or something. And like if you like walked up behind it, like you could see its like ass cheeks. That was just like the joke of it. Like, it was the whole joke was that you could see its ass.
How about those bowls of candy with a hand? Would you ever fall for those, or would you try to like reach around?
Oh, were
back?
They like battery powered hands?
Yeah,
or was
like,
it just a hand sitting in there?
Some of them, it was either or. If it looked rubber, you knew that it was like an actual like sensor operated. But if it was like a stone
it's also
or metal,
it's also a hand in a bowl. So you go ahead.
Well, if it was like a rougher material, then you knew like, okay, this is a statue. Like it's obviously not going to move down. So
that never happened to me.
Consider yourself lucky.
That kind of stuff probably wouldn't scare me if I was guessing, but it's hard. It's impossible to know. I haven't stuck my hand in a candy bowl and got grabbed by hand. Candy, pumpkins. This is a game of association.
What's your favorite pumpkin?
Big ones. I like big ones. I used to love, we did pumpkin launch a couple times, like at my high school for some bullshit reason. Like somebody probably had the cancer or something. So we
threw pumpkins at them. That's how they wanted to go.
So yeah, that was cool. I don't know. I sucked at carving pumpkins. Like I never made anything that looked too cool. One year, I'm not even gonna say what it was. It doesn't matter. It's off the record. I carved something into it, didn't win. And my friend carved a giant fucking hole in a pumpkin for this contest we had. I think it was like for debate or something. And they're just like, oh yeah, this is just an astronaut. And he won because everybody's like, oh, that's genius and funny.
Wow.
Like, no, he just cut a hole in it. Man. And I cut Dwight Schrute into my pumpkin. Okay, I get it.
Damn.
I know it's two offices references in one episode. So
right.
I'll come back from it.
It's all right. That's good. It's like the Norm Macdonald, like flopping intentionally, then recovering.
Uh-oh.
What was that? Ooh, copy?
It was zombies.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Well, I have a story.
Okay.
I have a great story.
I cannot wait to hear.
I just want to make sure that I didn't skip anything too important.
We talked about pumpkins.
No, I've got one other thing that's not like super important. It's more okay. So you ever go to that website, Haunted California? That's the state we live in.
Maybe a few times when I was a kid.
Yeah, so basically the website was just an amalgamation of like all the folklore and stuff like that of local towns, like what's haunted in our town. And so like my brother, it even had like, my brother used to work like at the state hospital with like all the loonies. And I'm not talking about Canadian money, folks. With all the loonies, you know, he used to work there, and he, in the weight room that used to be like the old like mortuary or whatever, they kept the bodies like frozen stuff. And so that was supposed to be haunted. And there was, this isn't the part I'm making up, by the way.
Oh shit.
That's true. But, and he always said stuff happened there, but you know, and then another crazy thing, this isn't related to the website, but I just thought of it. We used to live in in the house that used to be the old like funeral home. And our basement was like for sure, like probably where they kept bodies for a while. Mm-hmm. Like I lived in this house for like a couple of years, and like our living room is even shaped like, I'm just doing this with my hand.
A penis.
Our living room was shaped like a penis. No, it was shaped like
a coffin, a
very small like funeral home. So like the living room was like the wooden floors and the layout of it. It was very obvious. Like this is long. It was longer than it was wide. But there was one for the town that I lived in growing up. In the cemetery, there's a gnarled. I just remember the gnarled old oak tree, and it has a satanic star on it. So my friends and I were like, okay, we snuck out. We didn't really sneak out. Like if we stayed with one of my friends, like his mom just didn't care if we left. So we like would leave at like 11 p.m. But we decided we were going to go to the graveyard at like 2 a.m. And so I think there's 4 of us there, and we had like flashlights and backpacks for some reason. And I remember my friend Nathan, he's like, made a huge deal that he'd have his beef jerky. Guy wouldn't shut up about his beef jerky. So anyway, we get there, we start looking around. We're looking at all the trees in the cemetery. Classic Nathan drops his beef jerky, starts cussing, and he's being loud and he's yelling, and we're like, dude, shut up. The cops might like show up, or like somebody nearby would hear us, and they're gonna be like, those kids are fucking around in the cemetery again.
Okay.
So stupid. Fuck.
It's all right.
Cops are gonna show up. You know, somebody's gonna call the cops on us. So we shut up. What are you doing? And we look over at him. He has the most horrified look on his face. Zombies reached out. God damn, dude. Zombie reached out of the ground, grabbed the beef jerky. It's a beef jerky. All right, fuck me.
Damn.
I was never gonna get through that.
No, that's good. That's funny.
It was fucking stupid. But folks, that's how people love the Jack Link's jerky. You'll pass away. You'll pass away before you pass on the original teriyaki or a bag of beef tender bites, baby. Okay, that was fucking stupid.
I like how that is what you were holding back. Like the whole time I was like, man, I wonder what it could be behind this door that he's guarding with laughter.
It wasn't funny. It was just so ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that didn't happen. But there actually was on that website. It did say that there was like a satanic star. And you could, when we found it, you could clearly see that somebody just took a knife and made a satanic star. It's like, oh, this isn't haunted at all. Somebody just is crazy.
I think before I do what I'm about to do, we can kind of segue into it because we talk about scary stories here.
But we like scary stories on this podcast. It's been the scariest episode
talk
of all
about
time.
Creepypastas.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think this might be best if I just go into this one.
Okay.
And then
yeah, give me your favorite.
Yeah. So this one is called Steven Missing Episode.
Well, that's weird.
I know. Well, we weren't the first, right? This is from somebody who watched the missing episode that was on the SD card that's now broken. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So, listening to podcasts is my favorite pastime. I don't have a lucrative hobby, and I never learned any skills, so media consumption has been my go-to. The only skill... Yeah.
Are you taking shots at me? I have no skills, and I just consume.
You don't consume. You produce with me. We produce this show.
Yeah, we produce it together. Okay, go on. I'm not going to interrupt again.
The only skill I would say that I've learned is finding new podcasts before they blow up. This is where I found Steven, which isn't one of those cases. I first found their YouTube channel with my girlfriend. For my girlfriend, think of a cross between Asuka from Neon Genesis Evangelion and Misty from Pokemon, but just add 200 pounds to her. When one night we were trying to find content on one of our favorite bands, The Garden, I was intrigued that two people would share the same enthusiasm for a band as us, even though my girlfriend cried when hearing Steve's take on MGMT. I hesitantly decided to subscribe. To be honest, I had completely forgotten about their channel until I saw their newest video uploaded at 3 a.m., simply titled Corrupted... Oh my gosh. Corrupted SNS file .mp4 error do not watch .mov. I knew the two often titled their videos with strange names, so I didn't think anything of it. The episode started out normally, the two simply conversing. They were talking about their favorite Halloween costumes as a kid and pumpkins. And then Steve said something about the batteries getting low on the recorder. So there was a long pause and the screen went to black. When they came back, there was something slightly off about the logo that's normally in the background. Oh, geez. Usually Steve and Steven are smirking. At least their icons are. This time, their grins were slightly larger, and they were both showing their teeth. The two were laughing more than usual, almost like they were high on marijuana. I would know this because I've tried pot. Steve started to bring up his disdain for Jimmy Fallon. What's the deal with him anyway? He's all like, hey! The impression sounded nothing like Jimmy Fallon, but Steven burst out with laughter. Steve also followed with him. They were uncontrollably laughing for a full 30 seconds, and then they went silent. Folks, we're recording this over the entire night, so we're going to take a quick break, said Steve. The screen went to black again. When they came back, the logo was back to normal. They started talking about their childhood and discussing their favorite games. Steven talked about how he used to love playing Spyro with his younger sister until he paused, until one night she went for a walk and never came back. Steven began sobbing. It just got louder and louder. Steve tried to calm him down and insisted on stopping the recording, which Steven demanded that they keep rolling for content's sake. During this part in the podcast, the icons of Steve and Steven's heads would blink, and I would swear their eyes would look realistic and even bloodshot. The screen shortly went to black again. When they came back, their head icons were gone, and there was just the background. I turned my volume up all the way, and you could hear what sounded like arguing in the background. There was a loud thud. Once again, the screen went to black. Okay, it's almost over. So when they came back, Steve and Steven's eyes went from cartoon black to hyper-realistic bloodshot eyes like I'd seen before. The two were quickly mumbling. The segment felt like it lasted at least 40 minutes, and I couldn't make out what was being said the entire time, and they were both just talking over each other. Eventually, the screen went to black. When we came back, Steven was maniacally crying, "No, Steve, no!" And the screen went to black again, and when it came back, there is a gruesome depiction of what looked like the real Steve himself. Not Blue's Clues Cancer Steve, the real one. But it looked like someone had shot him and beat him to death. His severed head was just a mushy pulp. You could hear Steven laughing. The grin on his face was so wide that his mouth started to tear and bleed. He turned to the screen, and I swear he looked into my soul. "You're next," he said to my computer screen, and then my computer crashed and turned off. It was completely broken. I tried to turn it back on, but it did not turn back on. In the corner of the room, though, I heard a laugh, and that sounded exactly like Steven's before my computer died.
Somebody sent that into you?
Yeah, a viewer, right? So they listened to that episode. I can't believe they did.
Yeah, I thought we deleted. I
know.
But also, still, that's how we got you, because the original Steve is dead.
Yes, that's what happened to the original Steve.
So that's actually 100% true, and we do leave it .mov or .mp4 or whatever that was.
But I did both of them. I included both of them.
Oh, okay, good.
That was
compatible with both players.
Exactly.
The MP4 player. Okay.
I just re-listened to this is behind the scenes now, the Mario 64 haunted copy, and just the crazy thing about that, it's just people who have played Silent Hill, and they've watched some horror movies, and they're just trying to recall what they have seen, but they're recalling so many things, and they're just trying to put it into one thing. So it was at one point Mario was hanging from a noose, but his noose was actually his tongue wrapped around his entire body, and his eyes were sewn shut, and his mouth was sewn shut, but he was still smiling and laughing. And it's okay, my question is, when we're seeing all this stuff in the Mario 64 game, supposedly, is it the 64 graphics, or is it the high res graphics? If so, how is that even possible? You know what I mean? There's just too many. They just like to take something and turn it all the way up. Like the Jeff the Killer. Do you remember Jeff the Killer? It's not enough that this kid gets bullied and
Jeff the Killer. That is ringing a bell, but it's
if you look it up, you'll probably know. But it's the reason Jeff the Killer is the way he is because he wasn't just bullied. Some kids poured bleach on him, and then they lit him on fire, and then they ripped his eyelids out, and then he carved a smile into his face. So they just they have to try to take it up as highly as they can, which is why the pictures started getting more gruesome, was at least my thought. And then I feel in the Mario one, the guy really went out of his way to mention that he had a girlfriend. So I thought that was funny to try to include that as well. Yeah, I don't know.
Showing us how the sausage is made.
I know.
Yeah, my favorite, I don't know. I don't remember a lot of them. My memory's dog shit. But Disney, the one when somebody works at Disney after hours and all the animatronic shit is coming to life or something. Or,
yeah. What's the?
Or they watch the security cams. That's what they do. They work for security.
Are you sure you're not just talking about Five Nights at Freddy's?
No, I don't. I'm just talking about a fucking. I mean, maybe they stole it from that.
They might have. Yeah. Is it the one where it's this is so cringy, but someone like went to go like look at one of the animatronics, and it was like a Mickey Mouse, like it was an old Mickey Mouse animatronic, and he took off his head and said that God has abandoned us.
That's a different one.
Okay, that's a different one. Okay. Same thing though. Hilarious. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. People, I just can't imagine people like writing stuff like that and then going like, yeah, oh yeah, and then like hitting send on gay.
Yeah, I mean, I say like all these are stupid, but it's like if I was like when I was like 12 and I was like, oh,
it worked.
Yeah, it was still like weird. Like I didn't like it. I was like, ugh.
And that really, I mean, it really was the only time where you could like it was people who grew up with the same stuff or roughly the same stuff and could, you know, make a story about it in a way that was like grotesque and stuff. I mean, I guess it is one of those things that you look back on now and you're like, wow, that's so stupid and cheesy. But, you know, they couldn't ever make like a horror movie today about like that game, the exact game that you used to play as a kid, like, you know, being demonic and haunted. So I don't know. It's good and bad. There was the Russian sleep experiment one. Did you ever hear that one?
Oh, yeah.
They it was like they locked those 4 prisoners in like a jail cell and like gave them this gas that always kept them awake. And then they just like went crazy and like ripped off all their skin and like covered the windows. So like after like maybe a month of them not sleeping, they opened the doors and saw that they were just like skeletons, but like still alive.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what would happen though, right?
Probably.
I mean, I don't know what the whole details are if they didn't have water. I mean, yeah, they'd probably just be dead, but if they were alive, that's what they would be. So
true.
That's just like Nazi Soviet stuff.
Yeah. Just an experiment, but it's like, what if we just said this experiment worked?
I'm trying to remember like the most popular, like obviously some of them like Slenderman, you know what I mean? Like that's a very popular one.
Yeah. You know what I hated about Slenderman? It was people would say like the more you think about him, the higher your chances are of encountering him. So I'd have to try not to think about him, but then think about who. I guess it's like that thing you said a while back. If you think about the game, you lose the game. So
you lost the game, sir.
Yeah.
All right, that was retarded. And do you remember the Waukesha stabbing? Is that how you say Waukesha, Wisconsin? That's the name of it. Just sounds.
I don't know.
Sounds. Like a
was it like the
fat
kids? The kid who like stabbed his sister?
No, it was 2 girls.
Brother?
2 girls stabbed another girl like 20 times.
Because Slenderman told them to do it.
Yeah. But then, like in court, she's like, "I've also talked to Voldemort and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." They let her out too.
Really?
Yeah, well, she has to be like monitored until she's 37 and she can't be on social media and her internet thing is completely monitored.
Why the Ninja Turtles as well?
I don't know. Fit. She just threw it out there.
Yeah.
They were like, do you talk to anybody else? And she's like, yeah, they're all bald.
Strangely shaped heads.
That's crazy though. Could you imagine just thinking that Slenderman was talking to you? They wanted to be initiated into his cult or whatever too. Oh. But he was talking to him.
That's another thing too. Those pictures, there used to only be 2. Call it Billy the Kid, because there used to only be 2 pictures of existence of the Slender Man. Billy the Kid, the image, there are 2 images of him. One of them is like fucking scary. I remember I read a book on him. I'm gonna switch over to that.
Billy the Kid?
Yeah, dude, it's like creepy, dude. Yeah, this.
Oh yeah, he just looks retarded, honestly. I mean, I don't know.
This was before I like knew. That's actually not true, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. He just looks weird.
He looks like somebody that has nothing that would stop him from, you know, being a crazy person.
Yeah,
he seems carefree enough. But yeah, that is like weird. I would like to know more about this. I mean, when was this taken? 1880? Wow.
Yeah. You know what's another weird photo? It's not like necessarily scary, but it is when you, well, I think the longer you look at it, the perspective makes it seem less creepy, but this John Lennon walking.
John Lennon walking's creepy? What is this?
This picture of him walking. He looks like the Chad meme.
Yeah, he does.
It's so weird.
Is it just is he trying to be funny? I mean, there's got to be there's got to be like, why is it all in this context? He's just walking around.
I like the wide version.
Yeah.
The AI restored with color version. Damn. There's also this, I don't think a Google search would find it, but there's like this back of a John Lennon album cover that has him and Yoko naked from behind. And they're like looking back at the camera, and someone like photoshopped it and just like made John Lennon's butt crack like 3 times longer than it normally is.
Yeah, that is scary.
So the haunted butt crack.
That was one of the first things that ever freaked me out was the
Paul.
Yeah, I buried Paul at the end of Strawberry Fields Forever. That was like one of my not the first thing that freaks me out, but like that's what got me into the Beatles. That was the thing that got me into the Beatles. Was
I remember learning about that stuff, and I had a DSi, and the DSi had like this audio recording app, and it would let you record like 15 seconds of audio, and you could play it in reverse, or you could like turn the pitch up and down and like speed as well. And like I would just say those phrases like cranberry sauce, and I like play it backwards, and it's like okay, it doesn't sound like cranberry sauce, and then you play it backwards, then it's like, whoa, dude, that totally number nine, play it backwards. Okay, that's not he is dead. Revolution 9 is a weird song. I don't know why they put that on the album. I don't know the story behind that. I remember listening to it once with my friend in the dark. It had to be in the dark, of course. And what was the deal with that?
I don't know. I like it.
You do?
I like the song.
Have you ever listened to it like isolated? Like I'm feeling Revolution 9. Where's Revolution 2
I listened to the
8?
content of the album.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know anything behind it. So, or I don't remember at this point. I probably did, but I mean, I don't know. The White Album has too much of everything.
It does. Yeah, that's true.
Like it has like some of their best songs on it, but it's just so overloaded. But yeah, I guess it's weird. I get what you mean. But I don't even know what it's between or anything in the album. So
I know it's on the second disc, and I think it's the second to last track, because Good Night, I think it's the last. I feel like I did have something else to say.
I'm about out of stuff.
You want to hear this comment someone left on the garden video?
I've probably possibly seen it.
It was from 7 hours ago.
Oh, okay.
It seems like it's a lot. This person,
give him a shout out.
He's kind of putting us in our place. So
no way.
It looks like it's someone's name, so I won't say the name, but you can
Why?
find the
You
comment.
can literally just look at the comment.
Yeah, I mean.
So he's putting his name out there. He's a public figure.
All right, his name is Zach. I'll say the first name, Zach. This is a review by people who don't seem to like or really know the thrash punk themes that are consistent in Garden records. They say screamo in reference to the vocal style, which couldn't be more off.
I hate this.
The last
person.
two Garden records have more in common with the sound of Operation Ivy, The Locust, and Adolescence, etc., than the things mentioned in this review. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of true. I don't listen to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
thrash.
care if people don't like us, they can suck my dick. Honestly,
go listen to Anthony Fantano then.
Yeah,
right, buddy.
Yeah, I'm sure you're a fucking genius. How about you start a YouTube? How about you start a YouTube channel and get 6,000% growth in 1 month?
Yeah, exactly.
We went from 1 subscriber to 60. That's 6,000% growth.
This guy has like a full channel. Like we just.
No, we'll find. I'm going to it now. Oh, do you see that? Somebody else is commenting right now.
27 subscribers.
They're calling him gay. What? Well, I don't disagree, but you're really going to go out there and call that guy gay?
Yeah. 27 subs.
Yeah,
bro.
but guess what? 212 upvotes for Griffin.
Thanks, sir.
I'm going to have a tough time sleeping tonight. I don't know about you, but I'm a little spooked. I'm scared I'll look in the mirror and somebody's going to.
That used to scare me too. Wasn't there that movie called Mirrors? Yeah, no,
but the thing was, you said, and I feel like this is something we can't do. We can't address these negative assholes. Zach.
Right.
Zach. Let's look at his channel.
Yeah, we did 27 subscribers. He's uploaded some music. He's trying to educate us, but you know what? Hey, look at our channel. We've got a wide range of stuff. Okay, we just noticed that there was a band that needed to be talked about, and
I don't want to knock this guy, but I wish he wouldn't have been so rude. I wish he would have asked us to sit down and have a smart conversation.
Like, you want to be? Can I be a guest on your show? I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask.
He could be the fucking 5th Steve.
The amount of Steves we've killed, we've gone through.
But by the way, though, my point that I was going to say was when you said screamo, wasn't that about, because I haven't listened to this again, the fucking Mac DeMarco one, right? Or Ariel Pink one.
No, it was like all of Kiss My Super Bowl ring, Kiss My Super Bowl ring. It was just me describing that.
Okay, but I don't understand what.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing, Zach, hear me out.
Take it from us. We have literally 3 times as many subscribers as you.
Am I insane for suggesting that this is Screamo?
No, you sound like it. Why would you think that's Screamo, Steve? That's so obviously not Screamo.
I know, sorry.
Just to use that word, it just shows that you lack a certain type of intelligence or intelligence at all whatsoever, you fucking retard. Okay.